welcome to Steve McDonald's Crafting, and today what I'm going to be doing is making some pebbles. Now, I'm not sure if you saw the video that I did where I painted these pebbles, which were real pebbles, to use as plant markers. Someone told me it's not actually good to pick pebbles up out in the wild, but I want to see if I can make some pebbles for painting. The first ones I'm going to make up with using this stone powder. And I've used this in a few projects recently, and I have to say it's really good. It's much harder than plaster of Paris, and it works out lovely, and it paints ever so easy. Mix it up with water. You have about a 10-minute working time with it, which is not bad at all. Make sure you've got no lumps in it so that it's all nicely mixed up. So that's about right, and that's about the right consistency I want for this. And then it just goes in the mold. And it doesn't take too long to dry, which is great. Now, I've got a little bit left over. I'm not wasting it. You know me, I hate anything that's wasted. So I'm popping that into this mold. I'm using a different mix for the next one. So for this one, I'm using equal amounts of sand and a cement, just a normal cement, and I've popped it in there and mixed it together. Now this is probably going to be more than what I need. Now I'm not too worried about that, because what I'll do is I'll just pour it in a different mold that I've got somewhere else, and this is going to take a little bit longer to cure up or dry up than the other one. Let's just pop that in there. I'll leave these two go hard. These have been drying overnight. Now the white ones were dry within about an hour and would have come out easily then, but I waited because I didn't want to disturb the other ones. And they come out of these molds really easily. So there's the white ones, and I think they're lovely. I'm not so sure about these ones. I think I made the mix a little bit too wet, so I might have to be quite delicate about getting them out. Oh, they seem okay. They're not quite dry enough yet, so they are going to take a bit longer to dry. It's probably where they're in here. The one where I used a mixture of the two. That's come out pretty. So I would let the darker ones dry up a lot more before I painted them. Well, I've got a nice little selection of these pebbles going on now. Before I do anything with these, I want to seal them, and I'm going to seal them, and I know you've seen me use this before, using white glue or PVA glue. Using a 50-50 mix, because I find that is probably the best mix to use. And the other thing that I will mix with it is some water. If I was to put the neat PVA glue on the top, what would happen is all the moisture in that would just absorb into the cements, and it would leave like a film on the top, which is nice. It does seal it, but that can easily scratch off. Where this way, it soaks nicely, including some of the PVA, into the actual cement itself and gives you a much harder wearing and longer finish. All you need to do is ensure that you've mixed it in really, really well. So watch how quickly that absorbs into there, where it wouldn't absorb as quick if I hadn't added the water. I will give these 2 coats of this because it will take 2 coats. Well, now these have all dried and they're all sealed, I'm going to choose some and paint some little flowers on them. I'm only going to do some simple paintings on them, and how I'm going to do that is just really allow the brush to do all the work. Now I've got 2 colours I believe are green here. I'm just going to bring a little stem all the way through. And if you're finding your paint is a bit thick, then just add a tiny bit of water to it, and you should be okay. I want a bit of paint of each colour on the brush. So I've got my stem there. And all I'm going to do is pop my brush, so for instance like that, then push it down and then bring it out like that. And that will give me a kind of 2-tone leaf. So push it down, bring it out. These haven't got any particular type of flower or leaf. I have no idea even if they are a leaf, but they look leaf-like. And I've put the stem there because that kind of gives me the idea of where it wants to go. And if I want to paint over it, those leaves look as if they are further away or around the back, then that's what will happen. Down. Bring it up. You can turn it round. You don't need to have it the way that you've got it. So push it down. Bring it up. Again here, push it down, bring it up, push it down, and bring it up. There we've got a little stem, and if we want to double off the leaves, can like we have here. I'm not really marking this out as any particular leaf or anything, and the more that you do this, the better eye you get for it as well, and you think, oh, I need one there. I will let that dry before I put the flower in it. Well, these have all dried now from the paint, and what I'm going to do is use these acrylic markers that are actually water-based, but once they're dry, they're quite waterproof. I will link these in the description as well below, because they are great. And I'm going to be drawing on these some little flowers. And I'll be using the same or a similar technique that I used when I showed you how to draw flowers. So for instance, on this one, I will just be drawing a circle to start with, and then going round. And this is the one that's going to have an outline to it, where the others may have an outline and they may not. And these mark on here lovely. And you can just leave it like that, or you can go over it and put another one in, which is what I'm going to do behind it. And now, if you wanted to, you could use a paint, but I'm going to fill it in using the pen once that's dry. And for instance, on this one, I'm going to make some little pinky flowers. I'm going to go off like that, do a little ring like that, and then a bit there. Dot these around randomly coming off of this. So I'll let that one dry. Well, these are dry now. They literally just took a couple of seconds to dry. And all I'm going to do is use these pens, prime the tip by popping it down, and then just paint inside. And they paint lovely. And the other thing is, as soon as they're dry, you can then paint over any paint that was there. For instance, there was a little splash of black there. I've just painted over it. So they're really good acrylic paint pens. Now, I'm not the neatest at colouring in, as you can probably see. I'm not very good at keeping within the lines. And to be honest, I don't care. I wish I could, but I don't care that I can't. Because of my tremor, I just love doing it, and I'm not going to let anything stop me enjoying my art. And that's what I want my channel to be about, really. It's about empowering people who aren't artists but still enjoy creating and arts and crafts to get the pleasure out of it that I do. I just absolutely love it. I could spend every day, all day, just doing arts and crafts. I've got some great projects coming up. So there we go. So I've done that bit there. Now all I'm going to do is fill this bit in here with the black. And I think I want to give that one a little bit more depth. So what I'm going to do is pop some little lines through it. And again, these, I just think these help the flower give it that little bit more dimension as well. And drawing and sketching just doesn't come natural to me. I wish it did. I work quite hard at it. And I have some methods, as I've shown you in my other videos, on how to get the best out of it. But I'm never going to be an amazing artist. But I don't care. I still love what I do. So there we go. That's that one. That was nice and easy to do. And this one, all I'm going to do is use a green pen. And I believe this is green. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it is. And fill in these little bottom bits on this one. These aren't any particular flower, I don't think. It's a flower that I've kind of thought about in my head. And then I'm going to fill in the top bit here with the pink. I think being colourblind also doesn't help me with my art, but again, it used to worry me, and I went quite a long while without doing any art and that because I was bothered about the colours and things I was using. And I realised I wasn't happy and I missed it, so I just don't worry now. If I paint a tree that's the wrong colour or the leaves that are wrong colour, so what? It looks alright to me, and I've had the pleasure of doing it and I've enjoyed every minute of it. So there we go, that's that one done. And I have finished off some others. So these are ones I did just with acrylic paints, and I'm pleased with the ways that come out. This one I did with a mixture of acrylic paints and these pens. And that one I tried to do in the same style as well. And I really like the way that one's come out. So these are them all. Now, what I'm going to do is just give them a quick coat of varnish because I want to kind of protect them. And the varnish that I'm going to use is just an all-purpose satin varnish rather than a gloss varnish. These are all nice and dry now and ready to be varnished. They literally took about 10 minutes, I think, to dry. All I'm going over is with this satin varnish, I'm just giving it a quick coat. I'm not going to give it more than one coat because I don't think it will need it because these paints are supposed to be waterproof anyway. Let me know in the comments what you think of these as well, and if you're going to have a go. I think they've come out really well. And don't forget to boop that like button. It really does help my video, and I am trying to grow this channel now to get it to 10,000 subscribers by about March time, if that would be possible. That would be a dream. Pop in a light covering of the varnish over them. There we go. Don't forget, please, to subscribe and hit that like button. And I will link everything that I've used today in the description below. I've probably said that about 20 times already. Take care. Enjoy your crafting. Bye.